Welcome, welcome, and welcome to Easy Project webinar. Robo, my colleague, can you just do a mic test with me just to make sure you can hear me, everything okay?
I can hear you fine.
I can hear you loud and clear as well, which is great. So I can officially start this off. Welcome again, everybody that joined this webinar. As the title suggests, this is a webinar on Easy Project, more purposely on the version 11 of Easy Project. My name is Lucas Hupka. I'm going to be the one sort of hosting the webinar. I'm going to be the one that talks about something that does not interest you, most likely. And then I will sort of pass the word forward to my colleague, Robo Kovacic, who's here with me. He's the head of QA in Easy Software. And overall, within the company, there isn't many people that would be a higher rank in terms of the product knowledge. So I'm very glad that we got him on the call to talk to you about specific changes. Now I'm sort of going to talk a little bit more about Easy Project because it is still possible that some people wandered into this webinar without the knowledge. For those of you that don't know, Easy Project is a project management software. It is built on Redmine, which is an open source tool which you can find on the internet. Some of you are familiar with it. If you're not, get familiar with it because it's a great tool and we took advantage of it and sort of brought it to a next level. For us, the flexibility of our software has always been the key. We have always made sure that the software is going to grow with you rather than the other way around. And for the past few years, we've been growing rapidly. And I'm not saying that just to flex or just to sort of to tell you how great we are. It's just a fact, and it sort of forced us to become more professional. I wouldn't say we weren't professional, but we started sort of onboarding a lot of huge clients, large projects came our way with great and very broad scopes. And that also led to very high demand. And for us as a middle-sized company, this meant that we need to change some approaches in our internal structures and also in ways that we approach our product and development. And that's something that I know that Robo will talk a bit more about because all our changes, everything that we've done for the past few weeks, months, even years, it had one mission or one general goal or a milestone. And that would be to open resources to more of a product development and service-oriented approach, because in some ways, we weren't able to keep up with all the changes on some technical spectrum. So we decided to streamline it a little bit and make sure that we actually can, when we provide the software, be really on top of the level in terms of delivery and in terms of all the services that have been required. From my point of view, I do have a few recommendations. One would be talk to us in any way possible, whether that's approaching your account managers, getting some account managers, talking to support, whatever you need, whatever you feel like is required for you to get familiar with Easy Project even more or to get upgraded to the new version. We definitely mean to support you. We definitely are here to do that because we understand that the overall internal platform, your collaboration tool, is something that's with you every single day. And it's important to keep up. It's important to keep it polished and working properly. If you're not sure about whether or not you want to roll out into the new version of your Easy Project, just feel free to open a trial account, test it out. You can find all these new changes on our trial accounts, and it makes sense to do that. And last but not least, this webinar is also meant for you guys to ask some questions. And you can do that by utilizing the button here in the Zoom application. If you just go a bit low next to participants, you can find a button called Q&A. Please use this button if you wish to ask any questions to me or to Robo. We will be addressing some of those later into the call. And I just want to stress out, please use the Q&A button because questions through the regular chat here in this webinar environment with a lot of attendees is not an ideal way for us to go through those questions, and we might overlook some. So for that reason, make sure to utilize the Q&A button. At this point, I feel like I've talked enough because you all came here to see the changes. You all came here to get what's important for you and your Easy Project applications. So please allow me to pass the word forward to Robo. Robo, can you pick it up from here?
Thanks, Lucas. Yeah, I can. And Welcome everyone. It's nice to talk to you, at least this way. So without further ado, I would start by sharing the screen, which yes, it's the big green button, which I almost
Exactly.
every time overlook.
I can see
I'm
your
sharing an
release notes.
incorrect screen, probably.
I see your release notes.
Yeah, you see the release notes, which is not the correct one. So I will just switch to the second one, which sorry about this. We already switched to a different. Yeah. So you see release notes. Okay, great. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry about a little bit of delay. So um, let's get to it. And I will start with what actually Lukáš kicked off, which is the aim or the strategic aim of our company uh, to provide more stability and better user experience, and to improve the software in a way that we kind of missed during the previous years of development, where we tried to broaden what the application can do, while now we really decided that we need more stability and more performance, speed especially. So that's why you are not going to see some magnificently large changes, but you will see the changes, and I hope you will see the value of these changes in terms of having a system that you can work with for years to come, even decades to come, because that's what we are. That's how long we are planning to keep providing the system. I would start, therefore, with a little bit of technical part. It will only take a minute, but it's important to start. And sorry, by the way, I am going to use the release notes for Easy Project 11, which are available in our knowledge base. I will use them as a structure for this webinar. So the first section is the technological stack. Um, Previously, we tried to support a wider variety of technologies, including Linux distributions and, let's say, databases. We decided to stick with one, let's say, combination of various technologies, which we can guarantee that will function optimally, and which is able to take on hundreds, thousands of users and still keep working smoothly. So in this regard, just a quick info or update. We will be supporting operating system Debian. We are supporting slowly but surely new Ruby versions, which actually means quicker application, simple as that. And as far as database is concerned, we are dropping support of Postgre database, which probably none of you had before, but just in case, we are sticking with Percona or MySQL, which again, Percona is performance optimized database part. This is mostly only for you server users. Those who are in cloud don't have to worry about this. So that's why I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Of course, with any server questions, we are always available for any answers. So let's start with the application itself. There are some design changes, not that many, but I will start with the login page, which is kind of a refresh, and we hope it's something. Well, we hope you like it, and we hope it makes you feel better when logging in work, into work. Then there are some changes or the biggest change probably you will see is the plus button, the new button, which is down instead of previously up. We came to this from user feedback and from current technological standards. So it's nothing that we are testing. It's what is generally expected from applications such as us. We improved the service bar a little bit as well. It works a little bit differently. So we try to make it a little bit more smoother and seamless. So these are just some quick design hits that we made. What are the bigger hits? is I would say, it's in our jargon, it's called killer feature, are dynamic filters. You may remember previously, or you probably still use the old ones, where you will click on where you have to prepare all the filters and prepare what you want to see, and then you hit apply, and then something happens and you have to wait until the page reloads. Well, we thought that this is kind of outdated way of filtering, so we uh, prepared something, a substitute, or maybe a ancestor, or next generation of filtering, which is called dynamic filters. It works. It's called dynamic because it works immediately. So just a quick example. This is a dynamic filter where I am currently set as a signee. I will just remove this filter, and now I will see all the tasks immediately. I will set grouping by project, for example, and I have it grouped immediately. Whatever I do, it happens right on the screen, and mm, I see what I'm looking for. It makes the navigation much more easier, much more flexible. Uh, we have this part documented. We have a special document page for it, so I will not show you everything. I will show you the link to the documentation, and we can provide it with Lukasz in some notes from the webinar. But some quick informations. Dynamic filters are available as a page module. As you can see, I'm now on my home page, and this is a page module where I customize the page, and I will select the module dynamic filters, and after I save it, I can work with it. We also have a native view of dynamic filters, which is when you go, for example, on task list, and you go to options, and there is a button called dynamic filters. It will switch the native view, and there you have the ad hoc filters, filtering ad hoc task list, which is currently in the dynamic view. Currently, at this moment, dynamic filters are only implemented into tasks, project list, and spend time list. Pardon. For the other entities, we are going to gradually add them as minor versions go on. So we chose the three most used entities and put dynamic filters above them. They will be added for other entities during time. Final thing about dynamic filters, in case you want to set them, if you like how they work, if they do enough for you, then you can set them as default view by going into administration, going into settings, and there is the option dynamic filter settings. So if you check this box, the dynamic filters on all supported entities will be shown by default. Of course, if you want to switch back to the old view, hit the three dots and switch to filters 1.0, which will take you back. So we are not deprecating anything. Nothing is ended. We just added a new part, which will slowly substitute the filters. But don't worry about the old view. We are not planning to remove it anytime very soon. So this would be the first part which I wanted to show you. Another kind of big change, and again it was performance motivated and mobile friendly motivated, is the text editor. I will show you this on a specific task. It's actually everywhere on every long text input. For example, when you are adding a comment to a task, you can see that it's a different one. It has a little bit less controls than the previous one. If I show here, for example, the older version, and it was even possible to expand this more and more. Well, the old view has become very very cumbersome, and from the code perspective, which means from the application performance perspective, including mobile view, it became unusable, and it would slow down, and it would deprecate whole user experience. That's why we decided for a newer technology, newer version of the editor, which is mobile friendly, which is in a standard form. So we didn't patch it, we didn't do any um, somersaults around it. It's in standard and quick, and of course it's mobile friendly. It doesn't show you 3 lines of controls. So again, for the purpose of performance optimization, user friendliness, we used the new editor. Um, I have to say that some features have been taken away. The most one you may miss is, for example, colors of the fonts. However, since we are using dark theme and this standard theme in the application, there were problems, and even the multiple colors were not sustainable in the application. If you had a dark theme, you would write in different colors. The other users wouldn't see it. So again, kind of hard decision, but we made it for the bigger picture. Color texts are not crucial to project management, simply put. Okay, moving on to another part, and it would be a new feature called stakeholders. Stakeholders is a project module, and it practically well it's provided within Easy Project Essentials, the very basic plan, the lowest one. So it's part of the very core of Easy Project, and it serves to as a database of your well, stakeholders, which who are not members of your application, who don't have account in your Easy Project. It's a well, it's a kind of simple database, simple to use, but it does have its purpose, and it does have its place in the project management standards. How they work, quite simple. As I said, they are a project module, so you have to go to a project, you have to enable this module in the settings, and there you can see it in the top menu. There are 2 buttons. Add stakeholder means that you can select a stakeholder which is already in your application in some different projects, and you can add them to this project. And we have the button new stakeholder, which actually creates a completely new stakeholder, which who is automatically added to this project. And of course, you can add them to later projects as well, to different other further projects as well. We are going to release a new version of, or completely new functionality for CRM, business to business, and it will contain a more full database of contacts, including companies and personal contacts, and further functionality. And data from stakeholders can be upgradable into this new CRM functionality. But that's a little bit a different topic. It will be presented in a different time. So just a quick, heads up for what can you expect in the near months. This would be the stakeholders, and now going to, let's say, a little bit technical parts as well, but not really from the user perspective. It's again, it's something that your users may consider standard. I'm talking about single sign-on capabilities, which in translation mean that we support Azure AD, and we support OAuth 2.0 protocol, which actually means that you can log into the application via Google credentials or Facebook credentials, or any of other 1,000 applications that support OmniOut 2.0 protocol. As for Azure ID, it's provided via SAML, which requires some configuration, and we have it of course documented. So in case you need to connect your Easy project to Azure AD or connect to anything else via OmniOut, we have documentation for it. It may require some kind of support on consultancy, because the different systems that you try to connect to Easy project may have some specifics, but the capabilities, the technical capabilities are there. In case you want to check it out, if you are interested, you can find it under administration, and there is a separate item for it, Easy SSO. In the documentation, you will find what means what, so you don't get lost in the variety of settings that is there. Going on to more of a user part now, actually a feature which I personally, and I'm sure that many of you will also be happy about, and it's called Asynchronous Exports. The problem that it tackles is actually quite often in lots of companies, by exporting various reports from Easy Project in CSV or Excel or PDF, and in case the export was very large, for example 10,000 or maybe even more items, the export would have the ability to block the application for other users. This is very unfortunate. We knew that this is a problem because reporting is of course very standard in practically all companies. So we found a technical workaround which actually provides the exports in a asynchronous way, in a little bit different way. It provides them in the background. So whenever, whether you do export of 50,000 or 100,000 items, it will not affect the speed of application for anyone, for your colleagues, for yourself. It will be just a smooth, seamless export. I would just like to show you what is the difference. I will check, no, I have to check that it's enabled, again, in administration settings, and directly under general. There is the option Async Export settings. You should enable it, set some kind of limit, I would say 200, which means that under 200 items, the export is in the old way, directly in your on your screen from your browser. If it's above 200 items, like we have 531 here, it will be done in the background. Quickly show you how it looks. Let's say PDF export, and it will take me to a page called Async Exports, which I can, you know, it's being done in the background. When I refresh the page, I can see the status is done, and I can download the export. I also received a notification, an email notification when the export is done. So I don't have to wait on this list and hit refresh, of course. So in the 500 items that I exported, it was rather quick. But really, if you have some whole year report for attendance or for spend time or whatever, you will find it useful, and you will no longer have the problems that you may have had previously. I will just remind you how to enable it. Go to administration, go to settings, the very first tab, and there is a Async Export settings section, which is quite self-explanatory. So this was one really big feature that that we are happy about, and that will eliminate problems that we knew that a lot of you had. I will continue with the export topic, a different one. And it would be export of Gand and work breakdown structure, WBS. We previously used our own functionality, which was not really meant for this kind of graphical exports. We decided it was unmaintainable by us, and it's better to use the native browser exporting capabilities, which you know, the browser is optimized for. So on Gand, the print button is there, but you are not choosing any export template. You just have the print button. it will take you to the browser export options, Chrome or Firefox or Edge, where you can make some adjustments in case the Gand is too big. Okay, then I will shrink it myself, and it's on one page. Of course, if it's big, it's spread to different pages, so you can paste them together. But the important part is we knew that we were not great at exporting, so parts where we were not the best, we outsource them into the browser, which does a better work at it. So in the Gand, you can see the print button. Unfortunately, currently in the WBS, there is no print button. We will be adding it. Don't worry. So if you are missing it, it's just simple enough to click Control P, and you will see the export. Whenever you open, it exports exactly what you currently see. So I opened just some nodes, and the export is for the nodes that I see. That would be all about this topic. It's just important that you know that export still works. It's just not in not in a native feature of our application. Okay, following to some other optimizing features would be how the how the customizable pages are loaded. Here we look at risks management, which has a lot of charts, and the difference between version 10 and version 11 is that now when I refresh, the page is loaded immediately, as you can see, and each module is loaded individually according to how long it takes. You may have some experience with some page modules that have a large number of lists, many items that have not 17 but 170 or 1,700 items, and it takes long to load these kind of modules. In version 10, you would have to wait with the whole dashboard until the last page module is loaded. In version 11, each module is loaded individually, so if there is one that it's taking too long, it will be loaded in the background. You can still see everything else on the screen. Customizable pages are a big part of application. It's your user home page, it's project over pages, etc., etc. So again, this is a place where many of your users come, and they may have had bad experience with long-lasting loading. Currently, it will be loading much quicker. Okay, another part of user improvement is the calendar, which some of you may not really see as a new because you already had Easy Project Business, but we actually have added or we removed the older version of calendar, which was in Easy Project Essentials, and we actually replaced it with the new scheduler. So it's for those who have Easy Project Business, for those who have Easy Project Essentials, you will have a new calendar, an improved one, which we have been developing since about let's say 2 years back, and it's much optimized. It can show you allocations from resource management, for example. It's just a different calendar, an improved one. We have it documented in case you need to know what are the differences. There is a special separate documentation for it called Scheduler, which explains how exactly it works. So new calendar, only one calendar, which again is a part of streamlining our code base. We will be only managing one calendar, and this one calendar will work the best as it can. We are almost at the end, so please hold on with me just another 5 minutes. Resource reports. It seems like an easy feature that we added, but it may be important, and we know that resource management is a popular functionality. Resource reports are a page module. It's not new. It was already in Easy Project, and it shows you for example, it shows you some kind of aggregate information. So I'm looking at September capacity of a specific team of developers and the allocations. So I still have some room to allocate for September for my developers. What we added into resource reports, it's a little bit inverse view. So when you edit resource report, you will find another radio button, chat users, and it will show you a different view above. So I still have the September allocations, but now I have them per user. So the any developer still has a lot of free capacity to be allocated and during September, as well as Danny. Dolly is still completely free, so she doesn't know what she will be doing during September. So another new different view on resource reports. We know that this came from user feedback, so of course we implemented it. Now moving to a little bit different part of the application, which is help desk. Help desk logs into an email mailbox and processes the emails and creates tickets in Easy Project from them. Previously, we only could log in, or Easy Project could only log in the mailbox via user and password, which is not enough in the current security standards of Google or MS Exchange, for example. So we added authentication. So when you enable this, you will have a little bit more inputs that you have to configure, but it is a safer way, and Google and MS Exchange may soon actually stop supporting regular user password authentication. Therefore, this is practically a necessity. We have it. Helpdesk is able to add to Google or to log into Google or to Exchange. We have this also documented in the Helpdesk documentation. We have examples of how it's shown in. We have examples of what you see in Google or what you see in MS Exchange, so we know what to add where. It's in the Helpdesk full documentation. Okay, we have just two last items. We're almost at the end. A quick little change, but again, part of project standards. In Kanban, you can now set task limit for every column. So let's say we have this column user testing. There can be only one task in user testing. So let's save it. And when I go to Kanban and there is already a task, I am not able to add a new task for it. I will get the information in the application as well. So I know that that's the reason. Whenever I move this one and move this one here, it sticks there. It's in Kanban module on project, and you can get to settings by the settings button after you enter the Kanban view. And completely last part, which is one of my favorites, since I'm a graphical, or let's say process kind of guy, diagrams. I don't know how many actually you use them on a regular basis, but it's important to tell you this change because because you may be surprised about where the functionality went. When you want to add a diagram, it has to be done through a task. I'm looking at a particular task, and under more, you have the button called Create Diagram. Okay, select the title, and it will direct you into directly into the diagram processing. What we previously had is here is another change. After I hit save, I still remain on the diagram. I make a lot of different changes. I can work on it still. In the previous version, whenever you hit save, it would redirect you back to the application. Of course, a little bit user unfriendly. So I am finished. I can now click exit. I will be redirected to the place where I was, which is a task. And under section diagrams, I can see all of them that I created. Within it contains embed link, and with this embed link, I can put it anywhere as it was before in the application. So I can put it in this particular task if I want to view it, but I can put it in all of the places where I can input text practically. So this is a quick change in diagrams. In case you close the task and you want to find your diagram, there is still, of course, the global view under the More menu here. There is a global list of all diagrams, which you can, again, open, or you can find the embed link, or you can just show it on the screen whenever you need. And this would be everything from my side. I'm looking forward to your questions. I see there is one. So thank you for listening. And I hope I did share some important information for you.
There was a lot, as always. But at least that demonstrates that the transition to the new version also brings new stuff, right? Like if there was not so much to talk about, it wouldn't make that much sense. You are correct. We do have just one question, which is a nice change for today. A question from Pascal. He's asking, how can customers learn from Easy Software about easy project development roadmap beyond version 11? I guess that means what we're planning for the next months ahead.
Well, we are able to outline some direction where we are heading, but we don't like to present specific results or outputs because it's hard to plan exactly when a certain type of functionality will be releasable. As I mentioned at the beginning, we are aiming for stability and for performance, and even the smallest or even the, let's say, medium development features or items, they still need to go through rigorous not only testing but code review and of optimization and of refactoring to really make sure that they fit in the application great and that they won't cause any troubles in the future. For this reason, and for the reason that we are doing big development items, we are not really able to guarantee what we can deliver in version 12. We cannot say what big parts will be there. We have an idea, we have a roadmap, we are confident we can make it, but we don't know what the future holds in terms of, for example, security. So we may stop one project and we may need to focus on something different that we didn't plan on. And if we say that we are going to release something in version 12 and we have to stop it for whatever objective reason, we would be disappointing our customers. That's why we want to be careful about not preparing our customers for disappointment. Let's say in a individual conversation, we may foreshadow something that you may be interested in, or foreshadow what is expected, which is relevant to your particular needs. But we are not. We don't want to publicly announce something that we are not completely certain that will be there. I hope that my answer wasn't very abstract, but there is the individual part. So
I think it makes sense. You sort of touched upon on what I wanted to say, and that if you have a certain thing, a certain feature you're looking for example, you can always ask us through support or through one of our salespeople, and it's not like we're gonna hide any of our intentions. We can tell you that, okay, we've been lately thinking very thoroughly about doing this or that, and that's pretty much the best way for each of our clients to get more information at this point. And that would be the question. That would be the question, which makes the ending overall much simpler. because now we can just thank everyone for their attention. It's been around 40 minutes, which is, I feel like, just fine for the review of the new version. Thank you very much, Robo, for doing the product review. I'm sure we both of us will be back. Once again, for all of us or all of you joining, make sure to talk to us. Many of these changes, like I said, that the mission overall is to the performance and make sure that we can really focus on what's important. But that doesn't mean that we're not taking feedback into account. Many of the product changes are actually based on thoughts or opinions that we get from our existing clients. So if you feel strongly about some feature looking different or some feature doing some things that you're missing, make sure to email us about it. Like, we cannot promise it's going to get in, but it's definitely going to get reviewed. And if it's a change that makes sense for everyone involved, then by all means, you will see it in Easy Project one day or the other. That's it from my side. Once again, thank you very much for joining. Robo, is there anything you want to add before we close this out?
It's been a great pleasure of having such a captive audience as you were. So thank you. It was nice talking to you, and have a pleasant afternoon.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye, everyone.